you're in the middle of the road and you're thinking, you know, Congressional District 1 just hasn't really been going my way for 40 years. Wonder what that could be. Let's try the other side. Maybe a Republican like Delinda Morgan can really help us out. She's been in construction for over 30 years. She owns her own farm. You know, she sells grapes. I have a small business. I sell wine, actually, not grapes. But everyone works for a living, or should work for a living. And once you've had that exposure and you know how to balance your checkbook and make sure that you're paying your bills so that you have more money coming in than is going out, now you're able to get to that level of government where you are able to see we cannot go spending money at this rate without, we're going to crash. We're going to crash. And it's not okay to say, well, let's just spend half the rate. Let's just go over the cliff half as fast. You're still going to crash. So it has to come together where you have responsible people in there that are cutting programs that we no longer need or that aren't doing us or our children any good. There are programs out there that can be cut, and those are the ones they should be looking at. No across-the-board cuts. Our military doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, amen on that. Yeah, the last time a Republican held a seat in District 1 was in 1975, and that seat was held by Wendell Wyatt, 1975. Governor, I met him. I proudly met Governor Vicatia, and I think I met him in 1984, something like that. And he was the last Republican governor, last held the office in 1987.
I actually had a chance to meet our last Republican governor, our latest Republican governor, I will say, at Vicatia, at Republican Women's Luncheon. Very kind, very giving. I really enjoyed him.
I would love to meet him again.
Our last representative was Wyatt, and my youngest son is named Wyatt. So.
Oh, did you name it after the last?
No.
Okay, it's just a coincidence. Hey, someone else you met that I want to get a picture of, and that is Ambassador John Bolton.
Yes.
That is cool. I like him.
He
is anti-United Nations, anti-Agenda 21, and he's very well spoken on those issues.
What's not to like?
There he is.
What's not to like? He doesn't want to be pushed around. He doesn't want Americans pushed around. He is a gentleman, and I loved meeting him. It was at the Lane County Lincoln Day dinner, and it was wonderful down in Eugene. We had a very good time. He was very giving of his time. Very cordial. I can't say enough. Just a perfect gentleman.
So, Suzanne, she's our representative right now,
Bonamici.
Okay. So, can you differentiate? Does she go along pretty much with Obama's agenda? Let me
I
first
would
ask that.
say, listening to her and looking at her voting record, and it's out there for everyone, that yes, she likes to agree with all of that.
Okay.
That I believe that she agrees with, she thinks they're doing the right thing, or they're headed in the right direction.
Okay. Short-sightedness.
I am completely the opposite.
Okay.
I think that they are going in the wrong direction. I think they're taking too much of our freedoms and liberties. I don't want to be told what to do, especially by the federal government.
Yes.
And, you know, there's a great group out there. There's a great group. It's Cascade Policy.
Yes.
They're a think tank. They're an institution. And I just listened to John Charles. He was a speaker at a couple luncheons that I went to. And if you are not receiving their newsletter, it's free. Everyone should receive their newsletter. They have a list of events on the right-hand side that tells you where they're going to be speaking and what's going on, and different events that are really going to be important this next year. Cascade Policy Institute. And they were talking about savings accounts for all of our children so that parents get to choose where they want to spend the amount of money that's allocated for their child's education. Good way, smart thinking.
Yep.
They also said that the Columbia River crossing needs to die. It needs to be voted no. It needs to be taken off the table so that we can start with something that does make sense. Saves us some money.
Yeah.
And there's also going to be one other bill that they talked about that's very important for this coming year, and it's making it, it's going to be on the ballot, I believe, so that water, hydroelectricity is a natural resource. Believe it or not, they are trying to make hydroelectric not be a natural resource. It's ridiculous. But that needs to, we need to follow up on that.
So what will happen if it becomes a natural resource?
Then we won't have to have all this wind power, solar power, all that won't be forced down Oregon's throat. It is very important to look at the issues and what's going on. It's going to affect all of us. We don't need to spend our money on things that aren't working. Hydroelectric is working and has for a very long time, and we're very lucky in the Northwest that we have this. And it's very steady power. Electric grids like steady power. That's how it works. They don't want a fluctuation at all. With solar and wind energy, it's too unreliable. If it's windy, it's peaking.
What's the agenda behind trying to control the water?
I think the agenda behind the electricity is them forcing us out of our comfort zone, out of our cars, out of, they're going to make us use our washing machines and dishwashers at 2 o'clock in the morning. I think that they have an idea on how they want us to use our electricity. So they're trying to force all these issues.
Is it kind of Agenda 21 driven?
I think it is. Agenda 21 is a big umbrella. So I don't want to just put it all on Agenda 21, but it's going on with our natural resources.
The conference, Worcester conference.
Oh, yes.
You only have about a minute to
Dorchester
talk about it or about
Conference,
another time.
very important. It's at www.dorchester.org, I believe. It should be on the screen. And it was March 7th, 8th, and 9th. Very important, and it's a lot of fun. You work on political issues, you listen to speakers. This year is their 50th anniversary, and it will be fun. Please look at their website and sign up as soon as possible. I'll see you there.
All right, great, thanks. Okay, well, I want to encourage you to, pay attention. Again, for the primary, it would be great if you could vote conservative, Republican conservative, if you're a constitutionalist, the Constitution Party, libertarian. It would be good to support Delinda. Pay attention, again, the Dorchester Conference, we have our Second Amendment rights that the government's trying to grab from us. So Common Core, freedom with our education. Common Core is big government, whatever the agenda of whoever's in charge, we're going to have that forced on our kids. It's already been happening through the teachers union, but it's going to be just directly without any funneling. So